Well, good evening everyone, and welcome to the Aberdeen Sports Village here in the northeast of Scotland. We're here for day 2 of the Scottish National Open Swimming Championship 2017. My name's Paul Noble. I'll be taking you through the action tonight, all the finals to look forward to in the next 2 hours. Joined tonight by Ali White, Performance Director of Scottish Swimming. Good evening, Ali.
Good evening, Paul.
Well, looking forward to a good session tonight, and you can join in the conversation. Let's hear your views on Twitter, hashtag SNOC17. That's the hashtag that I would like you to use if you want to join us. We'll try and read out your tweets. It was so quick fire last night, we didn't get much of a chance to do anything in terms of Twitter, but you're all over it tonight, Ali.
Absolutely, I'm expert in social media, so I shall be doing much better than my colleague Alan Lund did last night.
Yes, well, that's good. That's one up for you, Ali. Right, we'll hold you to that. So get your tweets in, hashtag SNOC17. It's a kind of lull before the storm tonight, because we've got a number of finals to look forward to. And here's what happened last night, some of the races that we saw last night. Some record-breaking performances. Ali, you were watching on the sidelines while your colleague Alan was joining me, but some really close events last night.
Absolutely, and a good few Scottish records as well, which is always great to see. Tim Brayson, the 100 fly, I thought was an excellent swim, and still looks as though she's got a little bit more in the tank as well, which probably makes it quite exciting for her. But some great racing overall. Yeah,
Tim Bruce with that 100 fly record. It was quite a long-standing record. It stood for a few years as well.
Yeah, the record stood to Louise Pate, who it was actually at University of Edinburgh as well at the time. So it's probably quite fitting that one of the next generation of swimmers coming through from University of Edinburgh has actually taken that record.
And last night, as of tonight, we have some para-swimming events. There's Kaylee Hago swimming last night. She had a great swim in the morning in the 50 backstroke for the multi-classification para-swimmers. Set a 2-second personal best and almost did it again, just 1/10 of a second outside her best time. So consistent stuff from Kaylee.
Absolutely, and an extremely professional athlete as well. Really does try to follow the process as best as she can.
And Alan and I were having a little bit of discussion about this one. That was a Scottish record swim from Kathleen Dawson last night in the 50 backstroke. Yep. Alan reckons she got that finish spot on when she dived for it. I think she went a little bit too early, but having looked at it back there, you can't argue with a Scottish record, can you?
Well, you can always argue that she could have gone quicker, but nonetheless, 100th of a second under is 100th of a second under, isn't it?
And it was as close a finish on the 1500 freestyle, as you see now, as it was in some of the 50-metre races.
Wonderful race that was. Two guys going head-to-head. If I remember rightly, those two went head-to-head in exactly the same way the Scottish age groups earlier in the year. Exactly the same time finish.
Just half a second separating those two swimmers on the 1500 freestyle. That was the relay, which was a little bit more of a procession for the University of Aberdeen performance team.
Absolutely, and they have a pretty good strength and depth at the moment in Aberdeen, so no surprise there in that particular race.
That was last night. We move on to tonight now. Women's 200 metres individual medley is the first one to kick us off there, and well, a multi-classification event for para swimmers. First of all, we saw a Scottish record this morning for Laura Pilkington, so good to see Laura back on form, and one of a real world star taking part in the 200 IM as well. The Turkish swimmer Victoria Gunes, who won the 400 metres individual medley. She goes again in the 200 tonight.
Absolutely, a great swim yesterday in the 400 IM when she went 440, and I think that was an excellent swim for her. Training in Edinburgh University, training with Shannon Rawlinson at the moment, so clearly looking to make some gains there.
The 400 freestyle for men. I've got an interest in the para-swimming one here because Ollie Carter is after the record, which I still hold incredibly after a number of years. It's about time it went. I wonder if Ollie can get it tonight.
Well, we're certainly hoping so, because we're
thanks, Ollie.
We're about sick and tired of hearing you harping on about it, so we're definitely looking forward to that race.
It's Ollie Carter, of course the A and B finals as well in the 400 freestyle as well. The 100 breaststroke promises to be a good race. Hannah Miley in that one, and Corrie Scott as well, who's already got a qualification standing for the Commonwealth Games, but not in the 100. She's got it in the 50. So Corrie Scott there, and Katie Robertson, who won a junior title in 200 freestyle yesterday. She goes again.
Yep, she goes again. She's in great form. She qualified for the World Junior Championships in this event by winning the junior final down at the British Championships back in April. So she's in great form.
Oh, brilliant. And two Olympic stars going in the men's 100 backstroke, which you might not expect. Stephen Milne and Duncan Scott, Olympic medalists, going in an event which you don't often see them doing. Well, maybe they do it from time to time.
They do, but it's fantastic to see. It really takes a little bit of pressure off the main events, and they definitely enjoy racing, and some might say putting the cat amongst the pigeons when it comes to the Commonwealth Games as well.
Kathleen Dawson back in the water again for the 200 backstroke, see if she can add to her tally. Of course, her record in the 50 last night, and in the 200 breaststroke as well. Well, Olympians galore in this one. Ross Murdoch and Craig Benson in there in the 200 breaststroke. That is definitely one to look forward to. Lucy Hope in the 50 freestyle was the fastest from the heats this morning. She is in good form as well, and should be a very quick race in the 50 fly as well. We finish off with the 800 freestyle. Again, another Olympian, Camilla Hattersley, in one of the centre lanes for that one. It's the fastest heat actually, so we didn't see these swimmers swim in the morning. Finish off with the men's 4x200 metres relay. Always an exciting way to finish the evening. So, ready to go. I think the first race is just about on poolside, and it is the women's 200 metres individual medley for para swimmers. 4 swimmers taking the start in this one. Jenny Hunter goes there representing South Lanarkshire. She's in the SM8 class. Regan Doig is next to her. And that's Jenny Hunter. Regan Doig there in the purple swimsuit. She goes in lane number 4. She is a Scottish record holder in this one for her classification. Beth Johnson in lane number 5. She'll be looking for a time to qualify her for the British summer meet. And Laura Pilkington, can she better that record that she went this morning? Well, remains to be seen. It was a big improvement from Laura. She's going to be behind the rest of the field. It's multi-class, different classifications. Regan Doig at the front at the moment, swimmer with a learning disability. All the others have different degrees of physical disability. So Regan out fast. She had a good swim yesterday in the 100 fly, set a new Scottish record for her classification. Very good for Regan. Good to see her back on form.
Absolutely. Training with Stirling Swimming Club at the moment, and certainly has been working a bit harder, in which case I think some of the fruits of her labour are just starting to show at the moment. So great form, but Laura Pilkington out there, an extremely professional athlete, trains at West Lothian, and certainly is in good form at the moment.
Yeah, she's got most severe disability in this particular event, so expect her to be at the back of the field, but she will be chasing that record that she obtained this morning, 4:23.42. Regan Doig coming up to the halfway point. We'll see if she can improve on her record. She's held that record for a couple of years, 2:35.89 for Regan. So she's got to come back in, well, around about, what, 119-ish.
Yeah, and not a great turn there from Regan. Really a bit tentative going into the wall, maybe 2 or 3 strokes going in when maybe one would have done the trick there, and that'll certainly add a little bit into the mix in terms of her time. So, but it will be interesting to see how strong she is coming down the last 50 on the freestyle. Chased there by Beth Johnson. From Best, coached by Lauren Jocelyn, and Beth recently out in Indianapolis for the World Grand Prix out there, and swam extremely well out there to pick up a few medals as well.
Yeah, Beth had a long period out through injury around about a year or so ago, but she's come back strongly, made it into the GB development squad, so good to see Beth back. Now she's chasing a time, as I said, for try and make it to the British summer meet. She has to go around about 2:52, so she's going to be a little bit behind Regan Doig here as Regan comes into the closing stages now. Keep an eye on the clock for Regan Doig. She's got about 15 metres to go, so that record time of 2:35 is going to slip by here, but Regan Doig is going to be first to the wall in a time of 2:41.60, so that's a little bit slower than she went this morning.
she didn't look quite as crisp in the swim. Skills not quite as good as they were this morning, and that's obviously shown up in the outcome there.
2:53.08 for Beth Johnson. She's a little bit faster than she went this morning, not as fast as she was hoping to go. She was really looking to be around about 2:52. And there's Regan. Certainly been working hard there. Looking straight down the lens. Well, 2 swimmers still left in, and Laura Pilkington closing back on Jenny Hunter, who's in lane number 3. Jenny Hunter had a great British junior meet just last week in Sunderland. So she did some very good times. That was a short course meet, so she's trying to transfer that to the long course. And Laura Pilkington as well. Well, can she be on for another record, Ali?
Well, I don't think she'll be a million miles away, to be honest with you. She's been working extremely hard in this last 50, chasing Jenny all the way. And hopefully just with 25 to go, she's got a pretty good shot, I think.
Well, there's Jenny Hunter, disability down one side of her body there, and she's coming in, putting the head down for the last few meters there. Jenny Hunter comes in 4:07. That's a good time. That's improved her time. And look at Laura here coming in. 4:23 is the target for Laura Pilkington. She's into the wall. It's going to be very close for Laura Pilkington, and she's inside it. And she's well inside that record time. 4:19.42. She has smashed that record by 4 seconds.
That's an absolutely outstanding swim there from Laura. What a great way to finish that last 25. Really got her head down and finished extremely well on the wall. Great stuff.
Well, new Scottish record for Laura Pilkington, and an excellent way to finish, as you said, Ali. Regan Doig was first out. The times of these swimmers were compared against the world record for their own classifications. They'll be converted into a points total. 1,000 points being equivalent to a world record swim. So that's how the medals will be presented, but it doesn't matter to Laura Pilkington whether she gets a medal or not. It's a big improvement on her times today, and she will be absolutely delighted with that. All swimmers for the second final are now behind the blocks. This is the B final of the 200 metres individual medley. Closest to us in lane 0, Gaia Alcaraz from Aberdeen Performance. In lane 1, Iona McLeod from Dundee City Aquatics. There's the fastest in the centre lane, that's Lucy Ross. Ailsa MacDonald in the green costume there from Northampton. In lane 2, Molly Wright goes in lane 3, the green cap of Nova Centurion. Lucy Ross, as we said, in the centre lane, fastest qualifier, but not by much. Katie Shanahan, the youngster from City of Glasgow, in lane 5. Victoria Nant from City of Leeds in 6. Ellie Turner, Carnegie in 7. Emma Russell in 8 from Heart of Midlothian, and Amy Mead, another Nova Centurion swimmer. She goes in lane number 9. Well out, Emma Russell from Heart of Midlothian, under the 30-second mark there at the first 50 fly.
It's a strong first 50 from Emma, but I guess it's all to do with where your strengths and weaknesses are in the event, and whether you want to hold a little bit back so you can use a bit more effort on your weaknesses. But just in the inside of her, it's Ellie Turner from Carnegie. Strong backstroke leg, definitely one of her main strokes as she comes through to take the lead at the end of the first 100.
Well, Katie Shanahan, the 13-year-old's youngest in this field. She's going in lane number 5. That's the lane towards the top of your screen, the second yellow lane towards the top of your screen. So she's challenging for the lead in that centre, in that kind of blue and white cap of City of Glasgow. Right at the top though, right up there in, well, lane number 8 is Emma Russell, still holding on to it. In fact, not Emma Russell, it's Ellie Turner actually, who has come through. Again, one of the youngsters, only 14 years of age, but very tall.
Yeah, she's doing extremely well at the moment. From a great 400 IM quite recently, breaking the East District record there, or the Scottish age group record rather. And so she's just turned first, or second actually, because Ailsa MacDonald's just come through into first place in lane 2.
Yeah, great breaststroke leg there from Ailsa MacDonald, catching us by surprise on the side of the pool closest to us. And she has a clear lead now. They're all chasing her down, but I don't think they're going to catch Ailsa McDonald from Northampton. She is going to take this B final. She has a clear body length lead over the swimmer next to her, Molly Wright from Nova Centurion, who's coming through into second place. Good time there to win that one. Ailsa McDonald takes it 2:22.58. Second place is Molly Wright from Nova Centurion, and third place was Katie Shanahan, 2:24.58. So good improvements there from McDonald, Wright and Shanahan. Ellie Turner just behind the top three. Fourth position for the Carnegie swimmer. But that was a good breaststroke leg, really took her into the lead there. And she never really gave it up in the end.
No, not at all. Looked as though she had an extremely strong freestyle to finish off. Legs certainly going on a 6-beat kick and working all the way through down the last 25 and in with an excellent finish.
Well, the breaststroke can so often make big differences in the 200 metres individual medley. We've got a couple of good breaststrokers coming in this one, most notably Victoria Guinness, who has won medals at the major junior international championships in the last couple of years.
Indeed, and I would imagine it will be a pretty good race between the middle lanes there, Emily Jones, Georgia Coates and Victoria Guinness. So, but don't discount All Adams in there as well. Very experienced swimmer from Geary, or University of Aberdeen, sorry.
It's Kiana McInnes in lane 0. She was the junior champion in the 400 metres individual medley. Nikki Miller in lane 1, South Lanarkshire. Chanel Snedden, the bronze medalist in 400 IM last night. She goes in 2. And Georgia Coates in lane number 4. Well, I didn't see Victoria Guinness there. Emily Jones in lane 5. Orla Adams goes in lane number 6. Samantha Caulfield goes in lane number 7. And Samantha Katie Robertson goes in lane number 8. She's fighting with Kiana McInnes for the junior title in this one. And it's the yellow cap of City of Leeds, Charlotte Robinson, who goes in lane number 9. Victoria Guinness, I didn't see her going through there, but she is there in lane number 3. Watch out for the strong breaststroke of Victoria Guinness. This is the A final of the women's 200 metres individual medley. And you said, Ali, different swimmers all have different preferences in this one, and Kiana McInnes has been swimming the butterfly tremendously over the last little while.
Indeed, going off to the World Junior Championships for the butterfly events. You're talking about strength there, though. In the middle of the pool, the 3 girls in the middle of the pool are all very strong breaststrokers. So I think it will be quite close as we come through that particular leg.
Well, it was Guinness there in lane number 3, 4 lanes up from the bottom, just ahead of Kiana McInnes at that first touch in butterfly, only by 3/100ths of a second. Commonwealth Games standard in this one, 2:13.01 to make the Scottish teams. It's quite a tough ask.
All the times are a pretty tough ask, to be honest with you. So the athletes have got a good challenge to try and get themselves on the team.
Victoria Guinness goes through there in first position. Let's see if the breaststrokers that come to the fore here. Victoria Guinness in 3, just holding on to the lead ahead of Emily Jones from Edinburgh University. Georgia Coates with that yellow cap of City of Leeds in between those two. And also going well, Orla Adams there in lane number 6. The yellow lanes in the middle, remember, are lanes 4 closest to us and lanes 5 further lane up. But Guinness has really used this breaststroke to her advantage. Absolutely
Dominated that breaststroke leg, probably a bit more than I'd anticipated, with Emily Jones also being an extremely strong breaststroker, but it's not quite all over yet. Just look at the kick coming down there. Georgia Coates coming in there with a big freestyle leg, picking up on Emily Jones, and they're both coming back on Guinness.
Well, Georgia Coates in the yellow cap. Guinness is just leading. It looks like Emily Jones is trying to come back here. It's a lot closer at the end. Georgia Coates with a real late burst there in lane number 4, but Guinness will take it in 2:14.81. Georgia Coates comes through strongly. 2:15.37 for second. Emily Jones 2:15.64 will take the bronze medal and will be the Scottish champion.
And a good swim from Emily Jones there. And a great race in the end. Nice to see Georgia Coates obviously went to the Olympic Games, part of that 4x200 freestyle really out there, and clearly got a strong freestyle to go with it.
Yeah, very good finish there from Georgia Coates in the closing stages there. There was Victoria Guinness representing Turkey here, but she's been training in Edinburgh.
She has. She's just been training recently over with the University of Edinburgh, training with Shannon Rollison, I think, as I said earlier on. And I think just enjoying a change at the moment, trying to pick up some different experiences along the way. So I think we'll just have to wait and see what happens after that. She is due to go back to Turkey at some point soon. So, but then again, she may well decide to come back again.
Yeah, well, she certainly has shown some impressive form here already in the first 2 days of competition. Well, the next race is ready to go, and it is the men's 400 freestyle for the para swimmers, multi-classification. There are 4 swimmers in this one. Adam Wyborn in lane number 2. There's Adam Docherty, Donachie from South Lanarkshire in lane number 5. And in the centre lane, in lane 3, Oliver Carter, and in lane 4, John Law. Ollie Carter and Adam Wyborn, both S10 swimmers with a minimal impairment. John Law swimming with a visual impairment, and Adam Donachie, a double lower leg amputee. He goes in the S8 classification. It's the one we talked about earlier. Ollie Carter going for that long-standing record. John Law also going for a record as well, held by Fraser Kane, the brother of the Paralympic silver medalist Abby Kane. So Fraser Kane holds this one. It's one of the few visually impaired records not held by any of the Cleggs.
Well, you never know. Ollie Carter going out there. 400 freestyle, really about trying to spread the use of your energy across the event, maybe not wanting to go out too quick, trying to make sure you've got something to come back with, and it'll be interesting to see how Ollie manages to do that in this race. Looked as though he went out quite strong on that first 50, the legs working particularly hard, so it will be interesting, but that said, that might be comfortable for him.
Well, I saw him at lunchtime, and that's what he said, that his coach said he maybe went out a little bit too fast. He's about half a second slower that he's going out this morning, so maybe that's a good thing, because he did tie up quite a lot at the end of the 400 this morning in that heat. Does look comfortable though.
He does, and coaches quite often talk about easy speed, so trying to get as much speed out of the stroke and swim as possible without actually putting in as much energy. So hopefully what's happened on this race is that Ollie's managed to capture that on the first 50.
There's Ollie Carter, that nice fast turn there. John Law, probably not as fast as the turn. The swimmers with a visual impairment, quite often they see the wall very, very late, so they don't get the chance to prepare for that turn so much. And John Law there, just to the right hand side of your screen there, is now falling behind Ollie Carter, but the records are about 17 seconds apart, so we'll keep an eye on John Law as we go through there. The Helensburgh swimmer just moving out of your shot as Ollie Carter comes in now. It's around about 2:11. He's around about a second slower than he was this morning at halfway point, but well, you never know, he's pacing it slightly differently.
Indeed, and as I say, if he's gone out a little bit steadier, then the efficiency might well have been there, and he might be able to come back stronger. It just that's the way it works sometimes, but we'll just have to wait and see. It looked as though he'd still gone a little bit too hard from my perspective, but equally he may well have got it absolutely spot on. Well,
we'll see what Ollie Carter can do in the second half of this one. John Law is in second place at the moment, Adam Wyborn in third, and Adam Donachie in fourth. It's all getting a little bit spread out, and all eyes on Ollie Carter at the moment. The record stood for a long, long time. Barcelona Paralympics, 1992. So it's one that Ollie Carter's been saying to me that he's going to have for a number of years now, the last couple of years. And he's got a little bit close to it, but, you know, he's still got a little bit way to go. But
that was that long ago. I can't work out how many years it was.
I was only very young at the time. I was only about 5. I wish.
Well, he's. I don't think he's going to be too far away from it, Paul. So it's going to be quite exciting coming down the last 100 here.
No, I think he's swimming this pretty well, actually. 4:33.82. Oh, the record stood for almost 25 years. Might just go tonight. Ollie Carter, Performance Director of Scottish Swimming, is waving you on, Ollie Carter. He wants that record to disappear off the record books. And here comes Ollie Carter now into this final turn. It's been a good swim. It's been a well-paced swim, and he's got a real chance now. Surely this record has got to go now.
I think you're in trouble here, Paul. I think Ollie's certainly paced it a lot better than he did this morning. Just shows you, you just make a little tweak to the way that you swim things, and it can make a massive difference. And it looks as though he might actually end up going, 4 maybe seconds faster than he did this morning.
That's a great swim here for Ollie Carter. Surely this long-standing record is going to go. Ollie Carter, 4:33.82. He's going to do it, surely. And he is inside, 4:32.56. Well done, Ollie Carter. A great swim there, a well-paced swim, and a new Scottish record after 25 years. Ollie Carter, well done.
Great news. 25 years for torture for everybody else has now come to an end.
Thank you very much, Mr. White.
Good job.
Oh, and now John Law coming in there. Well, 4:50.72 for John Law, and that again is very close to the record held by Fraser Kane, but just outside by 0.4 of a second. So a good swim there from John Law again. Very consistent, very close to what he went in the heats this morning.
Yes, he looks like a good swim, but again, just as we were talking about Ollie and maybe just tweaking it a little bit, it still looked as though maybe John went out a wee bit quick at the start for the swim that he was trying to achieve. Ollie maybe looked as though he made the adjustment, and maybe John didn't do it quite as much.
Well, Adam Donachie coming in. I'm sure I will be hearing from Ollie Carter in the very near future.
I don't think it'll be long before you're hearing from Ollie Carter, but records are there to be broken, and
absolutely,
it's a shame it took 25 years.
Be great to see some other Scots make their way through to the Paralympics, maybe in Tokyo, maybe beyond Tokyo. Ollie Carter was one of that group that went out to Indianapolis, so they are looking to the future and breaking these Scottish records. Only the start of it, because the British record is a little bit faster than that long-standing Scottish record. Brilliant stuff from Ollie Carter. He will be really pleased with that, and I'm glad that he's now the Scottish record holder. Great stuff, Ollie Carter.
Indeed, as we move on,
he says through gritted teeth. Well, more records. That's 2 records in 2 days for Ollie Carter as we move on to the B final of the men's 400 freestyle. Richard Laird in lane 0, the winner of the 1500 freestyle. Thomas Jackson, 1 lane up from him, from City of Leeds. Daniel Ferguson from West Lothian in 2. Finlay Saunders from Heart of Midlothian. He had a good swim in the 1500 as well yesterday in the morning heat. Fraser Allison, well, another one of the guys who did that 1500. Jack Watson, Aberdeen Performance in 5. Duncan McKinney in 6 from City of Glasgow. Cameron Kavanagh from South Lanarkshire in 7. Ben Cope from Royal Wolverhampton in 8. And Fraser Agnew right at the top there, in contention for the lead in the early stages. But Daniel Ferguson has gone out very fast in this first 50. Daniel Ferguson there in lane 2, and probably the swimmers in the 2 outside lanes are the closest challenges to him, Richard Laird and Fraser Agnew.
That's a very interesting tactic there from Daniel. Just as we were talking previously about Ollie, it'll be interesting to see whether or not Dan has just maybe overcooked it a little bit at the start, but Having said that, he's got a wee bit of company with Fraser Agnew on the outside in lane 9 and Richard Laird in lane 0 and lane 10 there. So he's got a wee bit of company, and that'll keep each other going, I think, at this early part of the race.
Well, Richard Laird, of course, involved with that blanket finish yesterday. Had a very strong finish to the 1500. All three of them. Almost the whole width of the pool separating them there. Richard Laird just gets the touch at that top end there, 130.77, but only 0.17 ahead of the other two. And maybe coming back in the centre lane, the first of those yellow lanes, Fraser Allison from Warrenderbath, just beginning to come back into contention now. The qualifying times from this morning, Fraser Allison was the fastest in 4:14, and Richard Laird was quite a way short of that one, 4:20.76, maybe feeling the effects of that 1500 last night.
I think so. I mean, it was a tough race last night. The two guys involved there, Fraser and Richard, they were really going at it hard, and so I think maybe it just caught him a little bit this morning, but clearly he's up for some more racing tonight. And look, what we've got again, it looks like you've got Fraser Allison coming through in the middle, and it's Richard Laird here at the bottom in lane 0, so it could be a repeat of last night's race.
Well, it could well be. Fraser Agnew also in the mix right at the top there as they went over in 2:36 for Fraser Agnew, 2:36.5, 2:34.8 was the leader, and that was Richard Laird. And Fraser Allison now trying to come back, trying to stamp his authority on this one as they come up to the 300 mark now. Fraser Allison is just about going to take the lead, I think, over at the 300 there, 3:07.50, half a second advantage over Richard Laird.
And I think at this stage, Fraser paced his a lot differently. If you remember, he went out a lot steadier on that first 100. Richard went out really quite quick. So looking at it on the face of it, perhaps Fraser's going to have a little bit more on this last 100, but you never know with Richard, because he really does dig hard towards the back end of races.
Well, he certainly responded in that 1500, but it's a bit of a gap now opening up there. It's 2 seconds almost for Fraser Allison ahead of Richard Laird. Also Daniel Ferguson coming back, challenging for second position here, trying to catch Richard Laird. And Richard Laird is digging in, but he's not going to catch Fraser Allison this time. Fraser Allison from Warrenderbath is coming home in this 400 freestyle B final. He's going to win it for Warrenderbath. We'll check the time. He's going to be faster than he went this morning. 4:14 has improved to 4:08.96, and it is Richard Laird this time in second position, just holding off the challenge of Daniel Ferguson there. But another good tussle between those two.
Great racing. Really enjoy those types of races where the three swimmers involved are really just vying to see who can get to the wall first. And then the different pacing comes into it, because remember, Dan Ferguson was out really quick on that first 50. We thought maybe he would struggle a wee bit towards the back end. It looked as though he was, but then suddenly he found a little bit extra coming down, and suddenly there was a three-way race at the end. Very good racing from those boys.
Yeah, some different types of pacing there for those three swimmers, and it was Fraser Allison who ended up taking the honours in that B final. A final making their way onto poolside here. Jacob Butterfield from the City of Leeds goes in lane number 0. Angus Barr next to him in lane number 1. Angus Barr still the Scottish junior record holder, not a junior anymore. He still holds that junior record. John Wright in lane 2 from Aberdeen Performance. Regan Lloyd from Team Ipswich goes in lane number 3. Scott Goldby from Edinburgh University swam a very good heat this morning. He is in the fast lane, lane number 4, fastest qualifier. Martin McInnes goes in lane 5, City of Glasgow. Casey Barrett from Royal Wolverhampton goes in lane 6. Archie Goodburn is in lane number 7, already 2 Scottish junior titles to his name. Daniel Fisher goes in lane number 8. There's the Warrender cap there for Archie Goodburn. Daniel Fisher from Edinburgh University in 8. And the Warrender cap of Jonah Walsh in lane number 9. Scott Goby kind of got off to an early lead this morning and maintained it right the way through. We thought that he might have been under threat there, but didn't work out that way. And good reaction time as well from him. He was first away from the blocks, fastest reaction time of all the swimmers in this one. Martin McInnes close behind him. So the two swimmers in lanes 4 and 5 in those yellow lanes off to good starts, and Casey Barrett as well in lane number 6 may well be in the mix as they come to the first turn.
Yep, I'm not quite sure how this race is going to go, what the tactics might be. Martin McInnes this morning, an excellent swim for him, and he controlled it really, really well at the start in the heats. But Scott Goby there looks really, really relaxed, and down here at the bottom of the picture, and in lane 1 you've got Angus Barr there as well. So all pretty even going across the pool at the moment.
Well, Angus Barr, as I said, is the Scottish junior record holder, still holds that one, and it's been one of the kind of standard bearers for distance swimming in Scotland for a little while. He's kind of trying to chasing Stephen Milne for a long time. So he's leading this 400 freestyle here, looking for another Scottish title to his name, and he's looking pretty comfortable there. He's kind of out of the way of the guys in the middle who look like they're maybe sizing each other up at the moment.
Yep, they might not realise that Angus is away in front at this point in time. That said, Angus may just have gone out a little bit too quick, worked a little bit too hard. Not quite sure he's in that kind of shape to go that much faster. That said, he's actually looking pretty good at the moment, and the guys in the middle of the pool are just looking at each other.
Well, they're coming up to the halfway point. He's going to be around about 2 minutes, just under the 2 minute mark, I think. Yeah, 1:58.34 for Angus Barr. The others are bang on the 2 minutes. Regan Lloyd in second, Scott Goby in third, Martin McInnes in fourth, and Casey Barrett in fifth. All together there, all in the 2 minutes or the very low 2:01s. And Angus Barr is looking pretty good at the moment, but are they starting to peg him back? That kind of angle in the camera is a little bit deceptive sometimes, but as they come to flatten it out, you see he has probably got a lead of about just over a body length.
Indeed, and it just looked to me as though he was just starting to struggle a wee bit. Regan Lloyd coming through now and maybe just catching a glimpse of Angus's leg kick there, so that'll be spurring him on, which will then of course spur the other guys across the middle.
Well, they've still got 100 to go when they get down to this turn here, and Regan Lloyd is looking ominous. He's certainly catching Angus Barr here, and Angus Barr has really gone out hard, and it's a matter of just trying to hold on to this lead now in this last 100.
Yep, and you know, sometimes when you get yourself in front and you can see people coming at you, just suddenly find that last little bit. But Regan Lloyd, look at his legs now. He's suddenly from nowhere, those legs are coming through, and Martin McInnes in the middle there, his legs really up high as well.
Well, Angus Barr is just about contending for that lead and just about holding on to it, I think, as they go over this final turn. It's very, very close. In fact, just 0.04 of a second between the two. Regan Lloyd just given the touch there, and it's all about survival now for Angus Barr. Can he find anything now in this last 50? Angus Barr is next to Regan Lloyd from Team Ipswich. It is very close, but it looks like Regan Lloyd might just have the edge here. Angus Barr trying to come back now. He's led for almost the entire 400, just overtaken on the last 50 there. He's still coming back, but Regan Lloyd takes it in 4:01.11. Angus Barr in second, 4:01.50, and Martin McInnes in third place, 4:03.86. And well, Regan Lloyd swam it well, didn't he?
He did. He paced it a lot more even than Angus did, but I think on that particular race, Angus probably thought that maybe he wasn't in the condition to do his best time, which is considerably faster than that. So let's go and swim a race that will try and put me in a position I can actually win. and so he's taken it out from the outside lane, hoped that nobody had seen him, but of course Regan actually caught him at one point and just managed to sneak through with 25 to go. Great racing.
Yeah, Regan Lloyd will be the Scottish Open champion, just getting the better of Angus Barr, who gave everything he had there. He will be the Scottish champion, and the Open champion will be Regan Lloyd, as I said, and Martin McInnes will be a medalist as well. Bronze medalist for finishing third in that 400 freestyle.
And one or two tweets coming in here, Paul.
Well done, Ali. You are on top of the Twitter. Well
best. Marcus Stitz, Scottish Swimming's former marketing manager, watching. I'm not sure where about in the world he'll be at this point in time. He might be watching live on his phone on his single-speed bike, but he's watching at the moment, which is great to hear. Some good tweets coming in there from Chris Farber, the British Para NPD. I think he's taking a wee glance at what's going on, probably interested in seeing what Ollie Carter's up to as well, and maybe having a small celebration doing about record-breaking performances.
And here, talking about record-breaking performances, there is one of the record breakers, Laura Pilkington, receiving her bronze medal for that 200 metres individual medley. And there's Beth Johnson, silver medalist here tonight. It's all how the medals are presented, how close the swimmers are to the world record for their classification. So Regan Doig is the closest swimmer to her record, the SM14 classification, but very happy ladies, especially Laura Pilkington there on the right hand side. Great swim from Laura, 4-second improvement on what she swam in the morning, and that was a 9-second improvement from her best time before.
That's absolutely terrific when these when athletes have that sort of improvement. It really is good, and we're all extremely happy for Laura and the progress that she's making at the moment. Really does work hard.
So lucky 13 for Laura Pilkington, 13-second improvement in 1D. Can't be bad at all. Next presentation is due on, and it is the 200 metres IM presentation. There's the bronze medalist, Emily Jones, the bronze medalist for Edinburgh University.
The silver medalist representing the City of Leeds,
Georgia Coates wins that silver for City of Leeds.
The gold medalist and the Scottish Open champion for the
And the Scottish Open champion is Victoria Guinness. So it's always nice to see the swimmers collect their medals, but of course, if they have other races tonight, they are allowed to send a substitute.
Indeed they are, and Victoria will have the breaststroke coming up, so I think she'll have been straight into the swim down pool for some recovery, getting herself prepared for the next race.
Katie Robertson similarly as well has another race as well. So Victoria Guinness is the champion, a medal being collected by her teammate, and Emily Jones is the Scottish national champion. Next event's up will be those 100 breaststroke races, so not too long to wait for them. A few more medals to be presented though in the meantime for the 400 freestyle. Try to get the swimmers quick fire into doing these medal presentations prior to them going to their swim downs.
Indeed, I guess if you're in that 400 freestyle race and you're not swimming again afterwards, then you can afford to get out, get dressed, get your medal, and then go and do your recovery after that. But normally you would try and get into your recovery as quickly as possible.
Adam Wyborn with a bronze medal, John Law with the silver, and the new record breaker, Ollie Carter. Well done, Ollie. Gold medalist in this Scottish National Open Championships, and the breaker of that long-standing Scottish record. So 2 Scottish record holders already tonight. Laura Pilkington and Ollie Carter on the medal podium. We had a few yesterday as well. I think five records in all were broken, I think.
There's been some great, some really good swimming, and it's great to see the mix between the para swimming and the AB swimming as well in terms of that, records being broken in both disciplines.
Yeah, I think 2 para records last night, and 2 Scottish records, and 1 junior record as well broken last night. This is Martin McInnes, who swam that 400.
Indeed, I think he dropped another couple of seconds in that final, so a good swim from him.
Angus Bard looks smiling away. Got a silver medal. And Regan Lloyd takes that gold medal there. A very well-paced swim there from Regan Lloyd. And another junior title for Archie Goodburn. Oh, in fact, the Scottish national champion, of course, is Angus Bart. And there is Archie Goodburn collecting another junior title. His 3rd of the week for Archie Goodburn.
Indeed, recently selected to go and represent Great Britain at the European Youth Olympic Festival. So he's clearly in good form in April where that selection took place. And I think he will be still in pretty hard training at the moment and looking to put in some of his best performances at that particular meet.
And in terms of selection for the other meets, right, the Commonwealth Games, there are like a range of events that people can qualify for the Scottish team next year. The Gold Coast, of course.
Indeed, so qualification here, and then as we move into the summer and the main events of the year, World Championships, World Junior Championships, University World Championships, European Juniors, which are of course on at the moment. So a whole host of events, Commonwealth Youth Games, although not a qualifier for the Commonwealth Games, but some really great opportunities for the athletes to get out there and perform on the world stage.
And there's a few that have qualified at the moment, but still some chances for places to be filled up.
Indeed, I think before we came into this meet there was 16 on the list that had achieved standards, but as you go through the qualification process, then people will move themselves up the qualification rankings. Some will move in, some will drop out, so there's still a long way to go before we actually see what the finalised team will look like.
Well, keep a close eye on if anyone can make those qualification standards. The next race we have now is the 100 breaststroke for women. Regan Doig on the left, there in that purple swimsuit. Genevieve Hunter in lane number 5. So Regan Doig from Stirling Swimming 4, Jenny Hunter in lane number 5, and going 1 lane down from Regan Doig, just being held on the blocks. There's Kaylee Hago. Swimmers in certain classifications are allowed assistance at the start. The assistants are not allowed to add propulsion to the swimmer, but they are allowed to hold them into position. And Regan Doig is the Scottish record holder in this one at 123.60. And Kaylee Hago is not far away from another long-standing Scottish record as well. And that one stood since 1995. Not quite as old as Ollie Carter's one, but another long-standing one. So we'll keep an eye on Kaylee Hago as she goes along.
That's why we call you the Oracle, Paul. You know them all off by heart, I think.
I remember them well. Back in the black and white days. That's what they were. Regan Doig, though, has gone out 41 seconds. Well, it's going to be quite tough to come back in 123.60, but it's good to see Regan Doig getting back to some sort of form. She kind of lost a year or so, but it looks like she's right back to near her best.
Well, she is. She's been swimming 1 or 2 PBs, isn't she? So she's clearly getting back to it. And even in this race here, she's attacked it aggressively right from the start and is giving it a really good shot.
Well, 123.60 is the record. She's not far away from that. A couple of seconds maybe. 126.18 for Regan. That'll be quite close to the world record mark. That'll be tough to beat in terms of the points totals. Jenny Hunter, well, she swam 2:16 this morning, and she's gone out in quite a fast time, 1:06.08. Again, Jenny Hunter, she swims in the SB7 class, so classification numbers 1 to 10 are for those with physical impairments, 1 being the most severe and 10 being the least impaired. So there's Kaylee Hago as well. Kaylee Hago's an SB5, so she's a couple of classes down from Genevieve Hunter. Hunter coming into the closing stages now. Just keep an eye on the clock. I think it's going to slip by her time that she did this morning, 2:19.45. And, well, I just wonder if Kaylee Hago can have enough to challenge that long-standing record. 2:41.32 is the time. Looks like, again, it's just going to slip by for Kaylee Hago. She has swum well at these championships so far. Personal best yesterday, but it's not going to be quite a record today for Kaylee Hago. Just about a second slower than her swim this morning. 2:46.35 for Kaylee Hago. But Regan Doig at the front of the field, taking that one out, 1:26.18, with Jenny Hunter in second and Kaylee Hago in third. Quite difficult to swim, these swimmers, different classifications, so they just had to swim their own race. They had no option really.
Indeed, and quite often swimmers are encouraged to make sure that they're just focusing on what they're doing. So I suppose that's the extreme of it there. If you are actually just basically swimming against yourself, then you really just have to focus on what you're doing rather than worrying about everybody else.
Oh, 3 swimmers there, very close to their qualification times, just slipping by on all 3 counts. We move on to the B final, and Lucy Ross goes in the centre lane for South Lanarkshire. The full lineup for this one: lane 0, Ellie Riley from Heart of Midlothian, closest to us. Ailsa McDonald from Northampton in 1, Shannon Patterson, Aberdeen Performance in 2, Eve Thompson, University of Stirling in 3. Lucy Ross is in lane 4, South Lanarkshire. Emily Wood, City of Oxford in 5. Amy Mead in 6 from Nova Centurion. Anya Reid from First in lane 7. Emma Crawford in lane 8 from Edinburgh Uni. And Eleanor Hatton from Royal Wolverhampton in lane number 9, the outside lane, right at the top of your screen there.
Yep, and Lucy Ross out of the 200 IM finals into the 100 breaststrokes, like a few of the other swimmers as well, and I think she's up there with Eve Thompson on the first 50.
Yeah, it does look like Eve Thompson has just got that lead there in lane number 3, and Lucy Ross trying to come back there, 1 lane up, that first yellow lane for Lucy Ross. She is pulling alongside Eve Thompson, just on the bottom side of that yellow lane marker. Eve Thompson just is going to hold on, I think. Well, Lucy Ross coming through very strongly. Also Emily Wood from City of Oxford, and that green cap of Amy Mead from Nova Centurion. It's going to be very close between 4 and 5. It may well be lane 5. It's Emily Wood in 1:13.92, just 0.1 of a second ahead of Lucy Ross there, and Amy Mead it was in 3rd position, but they all kind of came together on that second 50.
Yep, and just shows you different types of way again of some of the race, but different techniques as well. So Emily Wood just a little bit longer in the stroke, whereas Lucy Ross just a little bit higher river, so taking more strokes down the second 50 there as well, but all coming to a head at the end, and just it's all about the finish.
Yeah, they all came together, that's for sure. The first 4 swimmers very, very close there. And that was the B final. We now look forward to the A final, and well, a number of big names in this one. This could be a cracking race, this one.
Absolutely, and again, I'm not quite sure how this one's going to be, but then that's the way it should be, right? So Victoria Guinness clearly in some pretty decent form at the moment, but how much did that medley take out of her coming into this race here? Likewise Katie Robertson in there, but then of course Hannah Miley, you can never discount Hannah Miley, who is one of the toughest racers in world swimming, so I think it's going to be extremely exciting.
And she had a very good heat. There's Hayley Monteith in lane 0 from Edinburgh University. Orla Adams goes in lane 1 for Aberdeen Performance. Rebecca Kleins in that yellow City of Leeds cap. She goes into Cara Hanlon in lane number 3 for Edinburgh University. Next to her, Edinburgh Uni teammate, Commonwealth bronze medalist from Glasgow in 2014 in 50 breaststroke, Corrie Scott. And there is Hannah Miley, one of the world's very best individual medley swimmers. Katie Robertson, youngster from South Ayrshire. There is Victoria Guinness and Laura Hawkins, Rob Wolverhampton. The lineup completed right at the top there by Olivia White from Edinburgh University. Well, Corrie Scott, the sprinter, and Hannah Miley more of the distance swimmer. And maybe, as expected, Corrie Scott has gone out a little bit faster than Hannah Miley. They were very close in terms of qualification times this morning. Corrie Scott 1:10 dead and Hannah Miley 1:10.16. And at the moment, Victoria Guinness not making an impression in the early stages.
Nope, but it looks as though it's going to be Corrie Scott there at the first 50 and out a good half-second quicker than she was this morning.
Well, Corrie Scott there just with the edge over Cara Hanlon, one lane down here, but Cara Hanlon starting to pull back now, and Hannah Miley coming back in the closing stages, as you might expect here. Corrie Scott holding on to this very slender lead. Hannah Miley trying to make an impression through here. Also, Katie Robertson and Victoria Guinness coming into the picture, but Corrie Scott looks like she has the edge here. Corrie Scott into the last 5, and she's going to take this one in 1:08.77. Well, an excellent time there from Corrie Scott. Big improvement on her heat time, and Corrie Scott takes it. Cara Hanlon second place there. A good swim from Cara Hanlon, and Hannah Miley in third with Victoria Guinness. Well, she did come back and under the 1:10 mark.
She did in a strong second 50 there, but a great race overall. Corrie pacing it pretty well with perhaps just lengthening her stroke on the first 50 in comparison to this morning, where she was rating quite high towards the back end of the second 25, but controlled it a little better, and I think that allowed her to come back a bit stronger in the last 25. Closely matched there by teammate Cara Hanlon, and she swam a much more even race, if you like, so coming back a little bit quicker than Corrie did on the second 50. So again, different ways of swimming it, but equally providing us with a great race in the end.
Yeah, it did look like Cara Hanlon was certainly challenging as they moved into that last 50, but Corrie Scott just had enough there to hold her off, and a pretty good time there for Corrie Scott. We haven't got a qualifier so far in the 100 breaststroke, with Corrie Scott being the closest, but she has done a qualification standard in the 50.
Indeed she has, and of course remember, these girls aren't just racing to get the qualifying time for the individual, they're also racing to be the top 100 metre breaststroker, which would contribute towards the medley relay team and qualifying the medley relay team as well.
All to play for the breaststrokers. This is backstroke now, men's 100 backstroke, and this is the multi-classification final. Adam Donachie, you'll see there in lane number 1. Adam Wyborn back in the water again. He goes in lane number 2. Connor Morrison from Aberdeen Performance. There's Adam Wyborn there from Billingham in lane 2. Connor Morrison in lane 3 from Aberdeen Performance. One lane across. Stephen Clegg from University of Stirling, the British record holder, will go in lane number 4. Jack Milne, that pink cap of Dundee City Aquatic, goes in lane number 5. John Law from Helensburgh in lane 6. Christian Buchanan from East Lothian in 7, and Rhys Gill from Eithin in lane number 8. Well, up to the class of this field will be Stephen Clegg in lane number 4, swimmer with a visual impairment. We spoke about Stephen last night on the live stream. His brother and his sister, both Paralympic medalists in the past, and Stephen trying to follow in their footsteps. He is a British record holder in this one, swimmer with a visual impairment, Stephen.
Indeed, and this is the event where he performed so well in Rio. It looks as though he's taken out the first 50 in about the same speed, but it looks as though his rate wasn't quite as high on that first 50 as it was this morning, so maybe he will come back a little bit quicker than he did this morning.
Well, Stephen, of course, will have his sights set on qualification for the World Championships, which take place in Mexico at the end of September, and the qualification for that is in a few weeks' time at the British Summer Meet. But keep an eye on the clock now for Stephen Clegg. 101.99 is his British record. It slipped by there for Stephen Clegg, but 103.92. He's got a few weeks left to improve that time for the qualification trials. Jack Milne in second place, 110.15 ahead of Connor Morrison, with John Law in fourth position there. And the final two swimmers in the outside lanes. Looks like Adam Donachie just coming in ahead of Reskill in the lane right at the top there, lane number 8. So Stephen Clegg, 103.92 on this occasion for Stephen. So slightly faster than he went this morning, but he's got a few weeks, Ali, to try and make his way into the GB team.
I think so. I mean, I think he'd be quite pleased with that, because he'd be looking at the way that how he raced there and how he put his skills into place, what his stroke was like, what his turn was like, and I think he'd be quite pleased about the way he did that. He's clearly in some pretty strong training at the moment, and he'll be looking forward to having a little bit of a rest as he moves and progresses towards the British Summer Nationals later in July.
Yeah, that's the qualification meet for the para swimmers for that World Championships in September. So a number of people will be targeting that to produce their best performances. The B final of the men's 100 metres backstroke. The lineup for that one: Alistair Miley from Aberdeen Performance in 0, Andrew Sawkins and Alistair Robertson, the two Edinburgh University swimmers, in 1 and 2, Scott Gibson, South Lanarkshire, in 3, Jack Warren Ballard in 4 from University of Stirling, two City of Glasgow swimmers, Joe Watt and Ryan Brown, in 5 and 6, Keir Edgar from the Falkirk Integrated Regional Swim Team in 7, Mark Ford and Ryan Robertson in 8 and 9. And 3 swimmers in the top of your picture there, Keir Edgar, Mark Ford and Ryan Robertson. They will be contesting the junior title.
And it's great that there's a number of juniors in this race. Clearly they all have their eye on each other on that one, but not just what's going on across the pool, but looks as though it's pretty close so far.
Yeah, in the centre lane there, looks like lane number 3, Scott Gibson, just about taking this one at the moment. And the winner of the junior tussle just now looks like it's Keir Edgar, but still a few more metres to go. It does look like lane 3 is going to take this one. Scott Gibson will take it in 58.26. Jack Warren Ballard in second, with Ryan Brown in third position. And the winner of that junior title, I think it could well be Keir Edgar from the Falkirk team from first, finishing in 5th place in that B final, 1 minute dead.
Indeed, another good race there. Scott Gibson has had a really good season so far. I know he'll be wanting to take that all the way through to the British Summer Nationals in July. He's been making steady progress, part of the youth development squad group that went out to compete in Porto. Some reasonably tough conditions out there, swimming against the men out there. So and I think he really did take some good learning from that and put that into place.
He's only 17 this year, Scott Gibson, so a good platform for him to progress. Well, it's the A final now. Greg Watson from City of Glasgow goes in lane number 0. Sharp intake of breath there for Greg Watson. Jarvis Parkinson from London Aquatics goes in lane number 1. Joe Elwood from Loughborough University in 2. Craig McLean from the University of Stirling, he goes in lane 3. Stephen Milne, well, we said we're unaccustomed to seeing him swim backstroke. He was fastest qualifier, Perth City. Stephen Milne. Charlie Balderson goes in lane number 5, representing University of Stirling. And there's Duncan Scott as well. the new British record holder in the 100 free, going over this 100 backstroke distance. Craig McNally. Well, what can Craig McNally do? City of Glasgow now in line 7. 2 Edinburgh Uni swimmers in 8 and 9. Chris McComb and Danny Kirkham. Well, Stephen Milne, silver medal in the 100 freestyle. The fastest qualifier in this 100 backstroke.
And he went like a bullet this morning in terms of his start, and he's underwater. And he really got up on top of the water, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens after they get to the 50 mark and whether Stephen can again use his skills underwater to take him away from the field.
Again, another tough qualification standard for the Scottish Commonwealth Games team, 54.43, which is quite close to the long-standing Scottish record still held by Gregor Tate there. Charlie Balderson is first of the ball. Craig McLean in second. Stephen Milne maybe not quite gone out as fast this time, 5th at that turn.
Indeed, but comes out first after the turn, so he's used again his underwater skills, but just starting to get hauled down a little bit. Charlie Balderson in there.
Well, here comes Stephen Milne and Charlie Balderson, both together in the centre lanes. There's 5 swimmers all together, and it's Craig McNally that takes it in 55.69. Craig McNally just stole that one at the end. Charlie Balderson in second, Stephen Milne in third.
Wow, fantastic racing there, and of course it makes it all more interesting when you see freestylers like Stephen Milne and Duncan Scott with 55.7, 55.9. I think great swimming, and a good swim from Craig McLean in 56 zip, but you can't take it away from Craig McNally coming down that last 50. Went out a little bit quicker than he did this morning. He knew he had to go out a bit quicker than he did this morning, and had a little bit left us down the last 15 to get his hand in first. Good finish.
Well, Craig McNally winning that one there by a really, really tight margin from lane number 7. It could have gone anywhere. There's 5 swimmers or so right in a row, and Craig McNally was the one who was finishing faster. He's famous for his fast finishing, of course, in the 200 backstroke, and he's good enough to win that Scottish title in the 100 backstroke. So great stuff from Craig McNally, and he's got the 200 backstroke to look forward to as well. Well, medalists now for the women's 100 metres breaststroke. Just 2 medals being presented. There was only 3 swimmers in this one, so it's a -1 rule.
Yep, that's right. Just the top 2 get presented.
And there are the winners and medalists, should I say, of the women's 100 breaststroke. Here is the para-medalists for the women's 100 breaststroke. Regan Doig racking up the titles here over the first couple of days. There's Jenny Hunter. Another medal for her as well. It's been a successful championship so far, a silver this time. And there's Regan Doig again. Taking the applause of the crowd, Regan Doig, enjoying her moment.
I think so. I think enjoying that. Making sure the medal's the right way around. Got to look good.
Yeah, perfectionist, Regan Doig. And there are the medalists in the para 100 metres breaststroke. Jenny Hunter and Regan Doig. Here's the presentations as well for the women's 100 metres breaststroke. Corrie Scott held on really well there to take that title under severe pressure from those around her. And there's a familiar face of Hannah Miley. Always supports the Scottish Championship. Great to see one of the world's best here in Aberdeen at these championships. Cara Hanlon, she challenged Corrie Scott in that race, and just for a moment I thought that she was going to come back and overhaul Corrie Scott, but Corrie Scott swam an excellent 100 breaststroke there, and a good time as well under the 109.
Yeah, I think she'll be quite pleased at this stage to swimming that. I know that she'll want to go a lot faster, but she swam a decent race in the final there. Cara as well getting close, swimming it. And then Katie Robertson taking the junior title. They are 110 zip on her swim, best of 69.6 I think it is. So at this day, again, this stage of the season for her, I think she'll be particularly pleased, especially having come off the back of that 200 IM as well.
Yeah, not much of a rest time for Katie Robertson there. And there are a happy picture of the medalists there. I think they're all very pleased with that one.
A great photo of those young female athletes clearly enjoying their sport.
Yeah, I think something to take from that one for all of those 4 swimmers on the podium there. Some real positives to take away there. 100 backstroke medal presentations as well. Here's the para medalists making their way on to the podium. Well, that's not the para medalist, but they are on the podium. You can take my word for it. There he is. There's Connor Morrison taking the bronze medal for that 100 backstroke. Connor Morrison, he's looking forward to the 100 breaststroke. That's the one where he's really excelled this year. And Jack Milne, well, he's a man on the up, certainly. He's been improving his times this year. And there's Stephen Clegg. Hopefully we'll be seeing Stephen Clegg at the World Championships in a few months' time. Maybe even contesting for the medals at those World Championships. Stephen Clegg, a finalist in Rio, hoping to make his way onto the medal podium internationally very soon. Connor Morrison as well has got a bit of a chance as well to make that team. He's the world leader this year in 100 breaststroke. It was a real shock at the British International Championships earlier.
I don't think it was necessarily a real shock, to be honest with you. Connor's been working extremely hard with his coach Gregor McMillan, and over the last 12 months he's really been working hard at different sections, and it all came together in Sheffield, and so the overall outcome of it was a real top quality swim, but we all knew that he had that in him. Now maybe gaining that confidence, we'd maybe see him moving on again.
Well, he'll be another one hoping to go to the World Championships. It's Stephen Milne, of course, Olympic medalist already. Stephen Milne taking that backstroke bronze medal. Charlie Balderson, the silver medalist, and there is the Scottish champion Craig McNally. Stole that one right at the end, his trademark fast finish coming back in the closing stages. Well done for Craig McNally there. And there's Keir Edgar winning that 3-way tussle for the junior title. So well done to the backstroke medalists. And well, it was always going to be a tight race, but we couldn't have anticipated it'd be that tight. Oh my goodness, 5 swimmers all in a row there.
Nope, and I hope those of you watching on the live stream enjoyed that one, because it really was a great race.
Too tough for us to call the winner, but Craig McNally, we might have known he'd be finishing strongly. Never discount him. That backstroke race, and another one who's going to be looking forward to the 200 backstroke. 200 metres backstroke for women is next up. Ali's just checking the tweets again. So keep your messages sent in. Hashtag SNOC17. We'll try and give you a mention. This is the B final though of the women's 200 metres backstroke. Katie Shanahan from City of Glasgow closest to us in 0. Ellie Turner in lane 1 from Carnegie. Tia Ward from City of Leeds in 2. Laura McKenzie in 3 from Edinburgh University. Centre lanes are Ellie Shields from Mulgai and Bearsden and Megan Briggs, University of Stirling. Lane 6, Emily Grant from University of Stirling. 7, Emma Scully from City of Glasgow. 8, Katie Henderson, Nova Centurion. And right at the top, Amelia Kleins from City of Leeds. Good start there from Nova Centurions. Katie Henderson leading them through, and well, she has a lead over half a second in the first 50.
Indeed, but again, it's one of those things. If she's taken it out really quick, when we get to the skills of the turn, can some of the other athletes pick up the gap just by making sure that their turn and the skills are absolutely spot on? So it will be interesting to see whether or not she can keep that early pace going as we move on towards the the next half of the race.
Halfway point, Katie Henderson may well just have a very slender lead there. 107.28 for Katie Henderson. Megan Briggs pressurising her now. 107.63, and Emma Scully, City of Glasgow, in lane 7 is going well in third position. It looks like Megan Briggs may be coming through here, but as they come up to this final turn, there's still a few swimmers here in contention. Also going well is Laura McKenzie from Edinburgh University in lane number 3. They're coming up to this final turn now, and well, difficult to see who's going to turn first. Maybe Megan Briggs, University of Stirling, just.
Indeed, and we saw at the turn at the 100 mark, it was Megan's skills underwater that brought her right into contention for the race, but when you're underwater for such a long time, that can take a little bit out of you as well. And now we've got Laura McKenzie coming through.
Well, it's a great shot, shows you how close it is. Laura McKenzie there in that red costume there, just coming back. It looks like Megan Briggs is suffering a bit in the closing stages here. Laura McKenzie is going to take this one. It's going to take this B final. It is going to be McKenzie will take it in 2:18.35. Emma Scully in second, Megan Briggs in third position. It was close for second, third, fourth and fifth there, all together with just a second separating them. But a good swim there for Laura McKenzie. She'll be pleased with that one. She takes that one in 2:18.35.
Yeah, a good swim there, well paced from Laura McKenzie, not going out too quick and having that little bit extra down the last 50. But also noticing there Emma Scully from City of Glasgow, an excellent PB of 2:18 in there, and another one that was well paced. She's certainly made some good progress this season.
Well, there's a winner of that B final. We're ready now to move on to the A final. There's Sophie Hobart from City of Leeds. She's going in lane number 0. Bottom of your picture there. Anna Newlands from Edinburgh University in lane number 1. Kirsty Simpson goes in lane number 2. What can Kirsty Simpson do here? Lexi Waller, junior champion in the 50 backstroke, goes in lane number 4. Catherine Greenslade goes in lane number 5 from Edinburgh University. Lizzie Simmons, Edinburgh University, also goes in lane number 5. Jennifer King in 6. Kathleen Dawson, there she is, set a new record in the 50 backstroke yesterday, goes in 7. Natasha Houghton in lane 8 for University of Stirling, and Cassie Wilde from Ellesmere goes in lane number 9. Oh, Kathleen Dawson has had a great year or so, hasn't she, Ali?
She has indeed, and that's going to be topped off by going to the World Championships in Hungary.
Well, Kathleen Dawson was in record-breaking form yesterday. Let's see if she can add to the gold medal she won last night. See if she can add another Scottish record to her tally. Kathleen Dawson, she is 3 lanes from the top there, just about edging it at the moment from Lizzie Simmons, a very experienced Olympic swimmer. Lizzie Simmons now training in Edinburgh University, and Simmons does take it out, 31.12, with Dawson in second, 31.15.
Yeah, but well, again, be interesting here. Kathleen very much focusing on the 50 and the 100 this season, so it'll be interesting whether she's actually got a back end. But Lizzie Simmons is the most experienced in this event. 4th place, I think, at the London Beijing Olympics. Yeah. Anyways, but certainly extremely experienced, and she's the one that's taking out now in 63.8 for the first 100.
It's always very impressive. Underwater power there, Lizzie Simmons, and she has taken it away really, really fast here. And the rest of the swimmers are really in the wake of Simmons here. Line number 4 going well. Catherine Greenslade trying to add another title to the gold that she won in the 200 freestyle yesterday. But it does look like Simmons has got a really, really big lead and looks untouchable at the moment.
And no, I don't think anybody's going to catch her now. She's got great skills underwater, one of the best in the country. There, look at that. There's a good solid 12 metres there. So excellent turn from Lizzie Simmons as she powers towards the finish.
And that's textbook backstroke from Lizzie Simmons. Really, really good. She has scaled the height. She is twice an Olympian. She's been at all the major championships, and Lizzie Simmons is swimming an excellent race here into the red markers. It's going to be a great time here for Lizzie Simmons. 208.92. Well, an excellent swim there. You cannot argue with that. Great stuff from Simmons.
Yes, indeed, and that's the kind of level of performance that would have got her onto the World Championship team as well. So a fantastic performance there from Lizzie Simmons.
Well, it was Greenslade in second position, 2:12.47, some 3.5 seconds behind Simmons. And Jennifer King, she gets third position, 2:13.86, and it looks like Lexi Waller will be the junior champion to add another junior title to her name. 2:14.26 for Lexi Waller this time.
What a performance that was from Lizzie. I think she'll be extremely pleased with that. Speaking to her coach Shannon Rullison, who's telling me that she's been a little bit under the weather in terms of illness, etc. Well, she certainly didn't show any being under weather there.
Oh, she certainly didn't there. She swam away from the rest of them. A fantastic performance there from Lizzie. And getting right back to her best form that we saw a few years ago. Some really good stuff. She always performs very well on the short course as well, because she's got such great skills.
Absolutely, she's one of the world's best around the short course, but that's a world-class time there as well. So she's certainly got great pedigree in this event.
Well, the staff here in Edinburgh, even Aberdeen, where are we? Aberdeen Sports Village. It was Edinburgh that won that previous race, that's my excuse. We're not in Edinburgh. There's the result, is confirmed. It's Edinburgh University's Lizzie Simmons who takes that one, 208.92. Greenslade in second, Jennifer King in third.
Definitely those years catching up with you now, Paul.
It is. 25-year-old record's gone, that's it.
That's it.
There's nothing
Your
left
mind's a
for me
mash
now. There was Simmons. Bit of a delay for the result there, but it has been confirmed. No disqualifications in that one. Move on to the next event, which is the men's 200 metres breaststroke, and this is the B final. About to get underway. Jacob Duncan from Highland in 0. Cameron Muir from South Ayrshire in 1. Thomas McSkilling from Warrender in 2. Ross Burns from South Lanarkshire in 3. Jake Sykes from City of Leeds in 4. Andrew McIntosh, the only Scottish junior in this one, he goes in lane 5. Jonathan Milner, City of Leeds, goes in 6. Jack McComish, the deaf swimmer, goes in lane 7 on his way to the Deaf Olympics very shortly. Jack Green in lane 8, and Scott Quinn, the Paralympic silver medalist, in the outside lane. Also the British record holder in this one.
Yep, I was speaking to Scott Quinn earlier on today, and whilst he was reasonably happy with his outcome, he wasn't happy about the way that he swam the race this morning. So it'll be interesting to see if he can actually improve on the manner he's swimming, his technique, his turns. But at the moment it looks like it's just Andrew McIntosh leading this first 100.
Yeah, Andrew McIntosh with that blue cap, South Lanarkshire, just edging it ahead of the 2 yellow caps on either side of him, the 2 City of Leeds swimmers. McIntosh it is, first to the halfway point, 109.55. Cameron Muir from South Ayrshire going well down at the bottom there, just in second position. That's 2 City of Leeds swimmers in third and fourth there at that halfway point. Cameron Muir trying to pull up, but I think it is still Andrew McIntosh with that lead there as they go into the final turn. Well, City of Leeds swimmers there trying to come back. It is maybe lane number 4, Jake Sykes, just coming up alongside Andrew McIntosh in lane number 5 as they go into that final turn. It's going to be quite a close race here as they come down for the final 50.
Absolutely, and Andrew McIntosh, who'd led from the start, is now being chased down by Jake Sykes.
Well, here we come into the last 15 metres now. Jake Sykes with the yellow cap of City of Leeds. Andrew McIntosh, the blue cap of South Lanarkshire. But it is the City of Leeds man who has the momentum, and he's taken him through in the final stages. Jake Sykes will take this B final a 2:23.78. Massive improvement from the heat times this morning. Andrew McIntosh 2:24.37 in second position. And in third position, Jonathan Milner from City of Leeds. We'll just check the times of Scott Quinn there, the British record of Scott Quinn, not challenged today. He was in 10th position there. And also, Jack McCormick outside his own deaf record as well. But a very, very good finish there in the end there by Jake Sykes. Powered through at the end. And Andrew McIntosh, he will be the Scottish Junior Champion. And a good time as well.
Yeah, he'll be quite pleased, I think, with the fact that he is going to be the Scottish Junior Champion. But I know, again, he'll have his eyes looking towards Sheffield, and he'll be using this race just to tune up his race tactics and skills. And hopefully, when he goes down to Sheffield, he'll be able to improve them within the race, and then look for a better outcome at the end of the day.
So what we have left, we're on to the second half of that caption there for the events still to come tonight. But we do have one of the big races of the night to look forward to now. It's the A final of the men's 200 metres breaststroke, which Britain has kind of been blessed with breaststrokers over the recent years, well, for a number of years actually. But swimmers here: Cameron Park in lane 0 for City of Glasgow, Callum Laurie, University of Stirling, in lane number 1. Callum Tate, Edinburgh University, in 2. Kieran Preston had a good heat this morning. He goes in lane 3, Edinburgh University. Commonwealth and European champion Ross Murdoch in lane number 4 from University of Stirling. Tobermory Mackay champion had a great heat today. He is in lane 5. Craig Benson, double Olympian, in 6. Daniel Lim in 7 from Edinburgh University. Thomas Perbonio, the Ecuadorian swimmer, representing Edinburgh University, in 8, and Andrew McFadden, City of Glasgow, in lane number 9. Lane number 4, great reaction there from Ross Murdoch, first into the water, and with a good advantage there in the early stages. Right in the centre there, Ross Murdoch, again another swimmer, one of swimmers of real quality on the international stage, Ross Murdoch.
Absolutely, and this field's got a few of them, with Craig Benson in there, double Olympian, in their racing as well. Kieran Preston having a good heat this morning, looked pretty sharp. Tobermory Mackay champion, now training in Oxford. He certainly looked good, so I'm looking forward to see how this race pans out.
Well, Commonwealth Games standard for the Scottish team, 2:12.04, and 3 swimmers have already achieved that qualification standard, so it's about bettering them, see if anyone else can dip under the qualification standard. But Ross Murdoch really showing his class here, really looking good as he comes into the halfway point. Second place is Kieran Preston, around about a second behind. 1:04.13 for Murdoch, 1:05.15 for Kieran Preston. Callum Tate in third position. He's in a good place there, just next to Kieran Preston, 1 lane down at the right hand side of your screen there.
Yep, and this third 50 now, really got to focus on maintaining your form of your stroke. Maybe not trying to increase your stroke rate too much, just trying to hold the length, and you can see that Ross is trying to do that there.
Well, Ross Murdoch looking really, really good here as he comes away from the rest of the field. Well, it was a European champion last year. Who can forget that Commonwealth Games title win on the very first night of competition in the 200 breaststroke there in Glasgow in 2014. And Ross Murdoch is swimming away from the rest of the field. A really good swim from Ross Murdoch here. He comes into the last 15 now. He has an advantage of around about 3 or 4 metres over the rest of the field. It's going to be Ross Murdoch here coming in for a convincing victory in a time of 2:12.96. Ross Murdoch takes it. He takes the gold medal. He is the Scottish champion Kieran Preston will take the silver medal, and Tobermory Mackay champion the bronze.
A good performance there from Ross. I think he'd be quite happy with the way he swam that race. Certainly is focusing on doing certain things within the swim itself. And then following that, you have Kieran Preston, who again is just starting to look good. Just that last 50, not quite being able to maintain his form in the last 50. Probably got more in the tank, but clearly these guys are just coming out some heavy training, and I think you'll find that the main focus for them will be either Sheffield or the World Junior Championships, depending on where they're, or the World Champs, depending on actually where their main meet of the season is going to be.
Well, Ross Murdoch has got, it's roughly about a month, it's less than a month now till the World Championships, about 3 weeks or so.
Yes, indeed. So you probably find that this will be the end of the block of work, and then he'll be starting to prepare, sharpen up, rest down a little bit as he moves towards Budapest.
Yeah, Ross Murdoch will have a look for Ross Murdoch in those World Championships, see if he can hit the medal podium again, as he did in the previous World Championships 2 years ago as well, in the 100 breaststroke. So there is what we are still got to enjoy tonight. We're going into a couple of sprints very shortly after these medal presentations. Ali is all over Twitter again. Keep those messages coming in as he lunges for his phone. Jennifer King is the bronze medalist in that women's 200 metres backstroke. Catherine Greenslade, another medal for Catherine Greenslade. Being very happy on the medal podium. Medalist, of course, last night. Gold medalist in the 200 freestyle. And there is Lizzie Simmons. Great swim that was. Absolutely fantastic. 2:08.92 for Lizzie Simmons. Really, really good swim. And she dominated that one to take the gold medal. And the Scottish national champion, first Scot home, is Jennifer King. And Lexi Waller is a Scottish junior champion, to add another Scottish junior title to her tally. She also won the junior title in the 50 backstroke, so she only needs 100 backstroke to complete the set now. So some more Twitter messages coming through, Ali?
Absolutely stacks of Twitter messages out there.
Scottish swimming, prolific tweeters as you would expect. A number of clips there you've seen for tonight's action going out on the website. Please send us your messages of good luck for the swimmers. Good luck to Molly Wright, Amy Mead and Katie Henderson, who are representing Nova in tonight's finals. We saw them swim a little bit early on. Tobermory Mackay champion will come to the medal podium. It's a bronze medal for the 20-year-old from City of Oxford. Can't impress the silver medalist there, but the gold medalist was never really in doubt. Ross Murdoch, again, another dominating performance in that 200 metres breaststroke. He was a firm favourite for that one, lived up to that favourite billing.
Indeed, I think that beard alone is probably worth 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, you won't be seeing that come the World Championships,
No,
that's for
so.
sure. Andrew McIntosh, who swam that good race in the B final, he is the Scottish junior champion. And there's the medalists. Some good pictures on Twitter on the hashtag SNOC17. The staff here, the Scottish swimming around the poolside, catching the medalists behind the scenes. A great picture of Corrie Scott, thumbs up there. A very happy Corrie Scott taking the gold medal. Season's best time in the 100 breaststroke, 1:08.77. I say she comes to this meet unrested, so what can we expect from Corrie Scott?
Well, that's it, and she'll be looking to improve, as we were discussing earlier on, looking to improve going into the British Summer Nationals, where she can try to post the quickest time out of all the Scottish girls, if not get that individual Commonwealth Games standard.
Yeah, as you said, in those 4x100 medley relays, it's all about qualifying the team, all about getting these the team qualified and trying to make your way. Even if you don't make an individual time, there's always a chance on those medley relays. It's very tight for qualification though, isn't it? Just a limit on the team size, so it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be quite competitive. A nice little tweet here from Charlie Balderson, who's suggesting that the backstroke 100 was the opening 100 of a 200 actually, rather than a 100-metre race after all.
The next final up is the women's 50 metres freestyle for para swimmers. Laura Pilkington there at the right hand side of your screen. There she is. Amy McFarlane goes in the next lane. She's in the S14 class. In lane 4 is Beth Johnson from the Borders Elite Swim Team. Hope Gordon in lane number 5 from East Lothian, and Jenny Hunter back in the water again in lane number 6. One length of the pool, and off the blocks quickest it's probably Beth Johnson. Beth Johnson with her arm disability, so you expect her to get off the blocks quicker than those with leg disabilities, and Beth Johnson going pretty well here. Next to her is Amy McFarlane and also Hope Gordon in lane number 5, trying to dig in there, trying to catch Beth Johnson, but it is going to be Beth Johnson here coming to the finish. Could be quite a good time for Beth Johnson, just in the 32-second range. 32:47, just about the same as she swam this morning. Beth Johnson takes the touch there for first place. Amy McFarlane in second position and Hope Gordon in third. And Hope Gordon, 33.53. That's another improvement for Hope Gordon. Of course, making a comeback, Hope Gordon. Interesting story for Hope, but she had her leg amputated, I just think last year, and she's made a remarkable comeback to swimming.
She is an extraordinary person, actually, and yeah, as you say, a very interesting story that goes along with it, but she's certainly making that comeback and making the most of it as well, because I think that's another cracking swim from her.
Yeah, she's getting used to swimming with one leg now, and she's making a good job of it, improving every time she hits the water, so lots more to come from Hope Gordon. Women's 50 metres freestyle B final is just about ready to go. Jasmine Perry, you see her in lane 0. Aberdeen Performance. Samantha Caulfield in 1. Laura McKenzie in 2. Sophie Smith, another junior swimmer, in 3. Rebecca Murray in 4. Evie Edwards in 5. Lucia Dingle in 6. Ellie Millington in 7. Fiona Muir in 8. And Jessica Christie in lane number 9. Well, the B final, fastest into that was Rebecca Murray in that centre lane. Lane number 4, 27.04, but it was very, very tight here, and it's going to be very, very difficult to call. Swimmers in the top lanes. Fiona Muir going well for Dundee City Aquatic, but it does look like Rebecca Murray and Evie Edwards coming into the wall together. Sophie Smith also going well, and it is Rebecca Murray there, 26.74, an improvement on her heat time by 0.3 of a second. It was Sophie Smith finishing strongly there for second place, and Evie Edwards in third. The top 3 swimmers under the 27-second mark.
Indeed, and as you can see there from the picture, how close is that as they come in, and it's all about who can land the stroke. And the hand on the wall right at the end of the stroke, just the importance of great skill at the end.
Just about Rebecca Murray keeping her head down into the closing stages there, just getting the better of Sophie Smith. We move to the A final as well. Now, the A final should be very, very swift indeed. Lucy Hope's been on great form.
She has. She's had an excellent season so far, really pushed things on with her coach Matt Trodden at Edinburgh University. And so I think she'll be delighted with the progress that she's making at the moment. A good 200 yesterday as well, on 58 point in that, and a good solid British Championships as well. And she's going off to the World University Games, so I think that's a really good bit of progress from her.
Amy Godsey from London Aquatics goes in lane 0. And there she is. Next to her is Emily Horn in lane number 1, City of Glasgow. Gulsimono had a good swim yesterday as well in City of Glasgow in 2. Katie Stark, Edinburgh University in lane 3. And here is Lucy Hope going in lane number 4. 2 silver medals yesterday, looking to add a gold medal today. Rachel Masson. Well, Lucy Hope and Rachel Masson had a good tussle this morning in the heats. Kirsty Simpson there in lane number 6. Danny Joyce, the British record holder in deaf swimming, also on her way to the Deaf Olympics. She goes in lane 7. Catherine Greenslade in 8. And lane number 9 is Erin Cummins. Erin Cummins from the University of Stirling. And Lucy Hope and Rachel Masson side by side in 4 and 5. This could be a very interesting race indeed. Lucy Hope and Rachel Masson. Well, Masson maybe just with the edge on Lucy Hope there as they come into the final 15. Can Lucy Hope pull through in these closing stages? I'm not sure if she can, but Rachel Masson just about holding on here. It's going to be Masson will take this one, and she gets it in 25.45. Well, another great time for Rachel Masson, and she gets the touch over Lucy Hope with Katie Stark in 3rd position.
So great something there from the ladies. Rachel Masson had I think watching her heat swim this morning, didn't quite catch the start as well as she could do. She had a much better start there, I thought, and once she got herself into her rhythm and her stroke, she managed to maintain that and just increase it a little bit as she went through the last 10-15 metres, and then a good finish towards the end. Probably would have wanted that to be a little bit sweeter, but equally a nice swim there at 26.4. That's a pretty decent effort.
Yeah, very good swim there from Rachel Masson. Lucy Hope, another silver medal to her name. And Katie Stark in the bronze medal position.
Make the 100-metre event look as though that could be really interesting as well, actually, with those girls likely to be contesting all across that event.
Well, men's 50 metres butterfly for para swimmers here, and it's Andrew Mullen from City of Glasgow is the only swimmer in this one. Andrew Mullen is actually the European record holder in this event in 36.32. And another one who will be trying to make it to the World Championships in Mexico in September. Andrew Mullen, twice a Paralympian. He qualified in London in 2012 and just missed out on the medals, but was on the medal podium in Rio. Multi-medalist there. And Andrew Mullen, the S5 classification, he's affected in 3 of his limbs severely. And Andrew Mullen trying to get here now. 36.32 is his European record time. He's going to be quite close to that, maybe just outside, but Andrew Mullen will get that one in 37.85, just a second and a half outside his own European record. And with a few weeks to go to the trials, that's not bad at all for Andrew Mullen.
Nope, he's been training extremely hard out in Calais with his club City of Glasgow and coach Ian Wright. Well, great underwater skill though. Anybody watching that, fantastic underwater skill. I know he likes to make sure that he's on top of that. He can make some improvements, but great stuff there from Andrew. Just maybe the rate of his stroke just dropping a little bit towards the back end. 3 breaths or so on the 50. Pretty decent swimming that.
Yeah, he's a real exponent of that underwater technique is Andrew Mullen. Moving swiftly on now to the 50 metres butterfly B final. Jamie Coulter in 0. Christian Nichols in 1, Alistair Robertson in 2, David Cumberledge in 3, Alistair Kirkwood in 4, Ross Leslie in 5, Conor McNeil in 6, Murray Quillen in 7, Tom Lindsay in 8, and Odi Hatsuna in lane number 9. Well, good start there. Probably lane 6, the best start then. That is Conor McNeil. Just about having the edge here. Lane 3 coming through there. David Cumberledge, better known as a 50 freestyler, but going over the 50 fly here, showing his strength here. But is he going to be caught by Kirkwood in the closing stages, and it is Cumberledge who just holds on there. 25.66 for David Cumberledge. It's Kirkwood in second position there, 25.84, and Ross Leslie in third, 26.26. Very, very close there for third position, but Cumberledge and Kirkwood fought it out at the front there, and I thought that Kirkwood was going to come back there in the closing stages, but Cumberledge just got the finish.
Yep, he's a big man, is Mr. Cumberledge, extremely tall and very, very long limbs. So in terms of the fly, trying to get the arms to come over extremely quickly is particularly difficult for him. But that's a good swim there, 25.6, and good for the lad Kirkwood there, 25.8. That's a good performance for him also.
Yeah, Cumberledge takes it over Alistair Kirkwood, so Edinburgh University ahead of South Lanarkshire in that one. Just waiting for confirmation of that result. I think it's okay. I don't think there's any disqualifications. You talked about Andrew Mullen breathing 3 times there on his 50 metres butterfly in 37 seconds. These guys are going to be going a little bit faster, 24 seconds or so. Are they going to breathe at all on this one?
Well, I think most people would try to do it with none or with just one breath in the length. But of course you have to adapt it. You're an individual, you have to adapt it to the best way that you see fit to complete the race, but at world level you don't see much breathing at all.
Well, we'll keep an eye out, see who takes a breath and who doesn't, see if it makes a difference to the swimmers, to the result of this one. Greg Watson, City of Glasgow in 0. Grant Henderson, his City of Glasgow teammate, in 1. Robert Bryce, Aberdeen Dolphins, in 2. Callum Bain in lane number 3 from the University of Stirling. Alistair Wright, the fastest into this one, Loughborough University. Next to his Loughborough teammate Brian O'Sullivan. Cameron Brodie goes over the sprint distance, hoping to add to his medal he won in the 200 fly yesterday. Joe Elwood in 7 from Loughborough University. Conor Munn is the 4th Loughborough swimmer. He goes in lane number 8. And Jack Sharanek from Edinburgh University goes in lane number 9. And there's lane number 4, Alistair Wright. Brian O'Sullivan next to him in lane number 5. It's only 0.2 of a second between those two. Commonwealth Games standard 23.87. So I need just over half a second improvement. Well, Alistair Wright does if he's going to challenge that one. So Wright in 4. Brian O'Sullivan in 5. And it's a pretty even start here. Maybe lane number 4 is taking that one. It looks like Alistair Wright maybe just has the edge, but it's very, very close indeed. It's very close. Lane number 3 also going well. Callum Bain, and it could be Callum Bain will take it in 24.57, and he came back really strongly in the last 5 metres or so, did Callum Bain, and he snatched it by 3/100ths of a second from Alistair Wright, who finishes on 24.60 with Brian O'Sullivan on 24.89. But a great finish from Callum Bain.
It was, and I thought that Callum had maybe just lost it there when he took a breath, maybe 10-15 metres out. That was his first breath at that point in time. I thought, oh, that interrupted his rhythm, but actually give him a little bit more momentum. It would take him into the finish. So just as we were saying earlier, was maybe you just need to adapt it as an individual, but great racing.
Well, Callum Bain totally missed his finish this morning. He got it completely wrong, and he's still qualified in 3rd place for the final. He's spot on there.
Spot on there, and it needed to be as well because it was that close at the end. Just 300ths between them at the end.
So that's what made the difference there, and Callum Bain takes that one in a good time ahead of Alistair Wright. Move on to another set of medal presentations now. We've got some familiar swimmers taking on to the medal podium now. There's Laura Pilkington there again. She's had a good night, hasn't she?
She has indeed.
Another bronze medal, this time in the 50 freestyle for Laura. And Beth Johnson, well, she was first to the wall. She wasn't closest to the world record for her classification. And that was Hope Gordon. We spoke a little bit about Hope making a comeback. She'll be delighted to take that gold medal in this 50 freestyle. Great swimming from Hope Gordon. I think there's more to come from Hope once she gets her technique sorted out and gets her fitness built up again. Fantastic stuff. She's really coming back well.
Yeah, she is. She's totally moving in the right direction, and I think she's really enjoying it as well, which is just a major part of the whole thing.
Yes, it's a bit precarious for Hope to balance there.
Balance on one leg.
She's been held up by the other two medalists, our Scottish team teammates. They know each other very well. Scottish team has really built up. They won the team title at the British Championships a year or so ago, which was a great, very successful team back in the 90s. The Scottish team was all conquering, but kind of dropped off the radar. But the recent crop has brought us back to the top of the tree in terms of the rest of Britain.
Indeed, there's some excellent youngsters out there. Coaches working hard, clubs working hard. Mr. Paul Wilson working hard with all those involved out there, and of course he's a nice little 40 years old tomorrow.
Oh right, okay, well, let's need to mark that. We need to remember that.
Indeed.
Katie Stark with the bronze medal. Lucy Hope with another silver medal to her name, and a good swim from Rachel Masson to take the gold. 25.45 for Rachel Masson, and yeah, very good indeed for Rachel Masson.
I think she'll be extremely pleased with that. I know that she's been working extremely hard, trying to improve one or two things. Our coach Gary Patterson up in South Aberdeenshire.
Not sure if that is Sophie Smith on the medal podium there, accepting that Scottish Junior Award.
No, I don't think that's the case.
Hopefully he'll be delivering it to the correct person. Sophie Smith, the Scottish Junior champion. Of course, going in 800, which is why we're not seeing her on the medal podium. So,
indeed,
showing a bit of versatility there. A medalist, the junior champion in the 50 freestyle.
And he'll be absolutely loving this, of course. Getting a nice photograph taken with 3 young ladies.
That's the medalist in the 50 freestyle. We'll watch out for Sophie Smith just in a little while. And these 50-metre butterfly swimmers have come in from the wrong side. It's all gone wrong. The system's gone to pot now. Brian O'Sullivan taking the bronze medal there, 24.89. Alistair Wright taking the silver medal. And Callum Bain judging his finish as he needed to, a lot better than he did in the heats. He takes it. The gold medalist is Callum Bain, representing University of Stirling. Scottish Junior champion, well, didn't swim in the finals, any of the finals tonight, and that's Dylan Somerville from South Lanarkshire. And he was the fastest junior from the heats this morning. If you're wondering why Andrew Mullen hasn't taken a medal, because he was the only one in it, he had to break his own record, and that is always going to be tough since he is the European record holder. So he won't receive a medal, Andrew Mullen, although it was a good swim.
It's a good swim, and certainly puts him in a good place as he looks forward to complete his season in Sheffield. All roads lead to Sheffield in many ways.
Of course, the para swimmers as well will have a summer of maintaining that and building towards the World Championships in September, late September. So it's an unusual time to have a major championships.
It's it's actually in October, isn't it? So I think it provides it's a really tricky build-up. So I think most of the athletes that are likely to go to the World Championships, the key event is the British Summer Nationals, where they can qualify for the team. I think they're likely to take a wee break after that, and then just start preparing for the World Championships following that break.
We spoke about the 800 freestyle. Alicia Dingle is in lane number 0. She's from Royal Wolverhampton. These swimmers didn't swim this morning. This is the fastest heat in terms of entry times. Tia Ward goes in lane number 2 from City of Leeds. Molly Wright from Nova Centurion. In lane 2, Melanie Hall from Royal Wolverhampton. In 3, Camilla Hattersley will be favourite for this one. She goes in lane number 4. Meg Finnan goes in lane number 5. Nikki Miller will go in 6. Jessica Thompson in 7. Iona McLeod there in lane number 8. And there is Sophie Smith from St Thomas. That's why she missed her medal presentation, because she is in this race. 800 metres freestyle, the fastest heat. And the fastest in terms of entry time is the swimmer in lane 4, Camilla Hattersley from the city of Glasgow. Of course, a member of that Great Britain team that competed in the Olympic Games in Rio. Also a member of the Commonwealth Games team in Glasgow in 2014. So Camilla Hattersley will be a firm favourite for this one, and she has an entry time of some 18 seconds faster than anyone else, and medalist last night in the 200.
Yep, and swam the 800 freestyle at the Olympic Games as well, but qualified as part of the women's 4x200 freestyle team and swam in the heat there. Team finished 9th on that occasion, so unfortunately not quite able to make the final. It'll be interesting to see how she goes here, because it was a solid swim yesterday in the 200, and it's sometimes quite hard to transfer up the different distances, but Camilla's been one of those swimmers who's been able to swim 15, 8, 4 and then 2, so she's always generally seen her 800 as being the main event, but ironically it was the 200 freestyle that got her on the Olympic team as well, so clearly she has speed as well as endurance.
Yeah, 200 freestyle, of course, that really, the GB team, especially the men, have been very competitive in 200 freestyle, so a lot of competition for the 200 freestyle places in the past as well. And as you said, the women just missing out in the final in the Olympic Games, so they'll be hoping to progress some 200 freestylers as well. Camilla Hattersley, though, showing her class here with a lead at the 150 mark of around about 4 seconds, and the margin is just growing all the time. You can really see the class of Camilla Hattersley here as she comes into the 200 metres. She is going to go there around about 204-ish.
Well, that's
204 and
an
a half.
excellent first 200 from Camilla, really going for it on this occasion, and maybe looking at that Commonwealth Games time, which I think is around about 8:30 for the 800 freestyle, and she's going for it for a 204. She's certainly getting herself out pretty quickly. It'll be interesting to see whether or not she can maintain that pace, or the pace that she's now on. But I think it'll be difficult, because going out that quick can often take quite a lot out of you. And then if you look at, if you're seeing her there in 2nd and 3rd, we have teammates Meg Finnan and Nikki Miller. Meg training out in Georgia at the moment, University of Georgia, and just back for the Scottish Nationals and the British Summer Nationals as well. And Nikki Miller qualifying for the World Junior Championships as well in Indianapolis this year, and will likely swim this event out that competition.
Well, those two having their own private battle, because they're swimming down to the turn, and Camilla Hattersley is swimming out of the turn. 308.83 there at the 300 mark, so she is repping those hundreds on about 104 here. So the qualification time, you said it was around about 8:30. It's 8:31.25, so just over the 8:30. So, well, Camilla Hattersley, can she keep this pace going? Can she get the qualification standard for the Commonwealth Games? She is, well, 104. It's going to be tough. She looks like she's feeling the pace here, but maybe difficult to tell. She's coming down to the halfway point here. She's certainly gone out for it, certainly tried to give herself a chance.
Yeah, I think when she turned in 3:08, so I think she'll be wanting to be around about 4:12, 4:13. I think she's going a little slower than that, then she would clearly be feeling it from going out quite quick on that first 100 and 200.
She's coming through now. 4:14 it is, so she is about 105, 105.3 there for Camilla Hattersley. Contest for second and third, Meg Finnan just 0.3 ahead of her teammate Nikki Miller. Fourth place is Jessica Thompson from Aberdeen Performance at the moment, but they're all out of sight now. It's all about Camilla Hattersley. Can she hold on for the second half of this race? It's going to be really tough. 4:14 at the halfway point. That's going to be quite tough to come back in 8:31.25.
Yes, I think 4:14 would have been fine had the way it had been swum been a little bit more even, I think, and then she could have been a little bit stronger coming on the second half of the swim. But she's working pretty hard, you know. You can see her; she's quite red across the back at the moment. But she's well out there on her own, so nobody else beside her, and she's having to do what we talked about earlier, which was focus on exactly what she needs to do rather than worrying about anything else.
Split here as she comes down to the 500, 520.05, so she is, well, 105.9 I think for that one. So with 300 meters to go, well, 3 other 105s will take her somewhere in the region of 8:35, so she's got about 4 seconds to try and make up somewhere over this last 300.
I think that'll be extremely difficult for Camilla on this one. However, having said that, she's been extremely brave. She's taken it out at the start. She's tried to give herself every chance of doing that, and you can see her teammates on the side there just waving her on. Her teammates from the city of Glasgow.
Well, let's see how close she can get to that Commonwealth Games standard. Entry time of 8:32.70, and well, she has been one of the great distance swimmers in Scotland over the recent years. Hannah Miley actually holds the Scottish record at 8:28. Hannah Miley just seems to be good at all these distance events.
Well, a great endurance background, and to be a top class, world class 400 IM swimmer. Clearly you need to be able to do those events if you're going to be able to deliver a performance in the 400 IM.
Well, Camilla Hattersley now coming up to the 6:50 mark. You see from the lane markers there, 3 lengths of the pool still to go. She'll come down to the bottom end. She will hear the bell. Second position at the moment is Meg Finnan. She's got away from her teammate Nikki Miller, who's still lying in third. Jessica Thompson still in fourth position, just ahead of Melanie Hall from Royal Wolverhampton. So those positions, well, might change or may not change as we go into the closing stages of this. There is the bell for Camilla Hattersley. She's gone over in 7:32.11. Pace like 106 exactly for Camilla Hattersley, so it's just kind of dipping off the pace as she goes through there. As you said, Ali, maybe just went out a little bit too keenly in the early stages.
I think so, but I think she'll take really good confidence from it. You know, she's set herself a tough challenge. She's put herself out there, and I think when you do that, sometimes you can come away from it thinking pretty good. She'll go away and look at the race and how she swam it with her coach. She'll look at how she paced it, what her skills were like, and then she'll try and improve that when it comes to the British Summer Nationals in Sheffield. And then of course she's going to the World University Games as well, so there's plenty of opportunity there for Camilla as well, and I think this is a really solid swim from her.
Camilla Hattersley into the last 10 metres of this women's 800 freestyle. She is going to be the Scottish champion with a clear margin of victory there. 8:35.98 for Camilla Hattersley. There's no one else in the picture. It was a dominating swim here at the Scottish National Championships. Second position will go to Meg Finnan in lane number 5, and third place will go to Nikki Miller in lane number 6. The junior title is up for grabs in the 2 outside lanes at the top there, and Iona McLeod will take that junior title from Sophie Smith. Well, What
Great, I mean,
great
super
tussle.
super stuff there in lane 8 and lane 9. Iona and Sophie train on a regular basis together, so almost like trying to get one up on each other as they come down that last 50. But going back to Camilla there, that 8:35 is a season's best by a long way, so I think she will actually be pretty pleased with the outcome. Again, it's one of those things where you go back and have a wee look and see how you swam it and whether or not you can improve the manner in which you did things.
Well, she wins it by 19 seconds almost in the end. Camilla Hattersley, great swimming from her. Meg Finnan and Nikki Miller take silver and bronze for South Lanarkshire, and there is Camilla Hattersley coming into the closing stages there. No one else in sight, and she is the Scottish champion by a huge margin.
And some more tweets coming in, Paul, actually.
Well done, Ryan.
Yes, indeed.
Good man.
It's Victoria Milburn, one of the coaches at City of Glasgow. A nice picture here from them as they have the computer all set up on the deck with the live stream watching the swimming. The Junior Foundation East swimmers. Victoria, an excellent swimmer herself, and now turning her hand into coaching as well. So great to see her on the deck and involved with City of Glasgow swim team, and she is in fact the club development officer as well.
Oh, very good. It's good to these tweets coming in. There's the RWS squad. Is that the Wolverhampton squad there with those blue shirts? We do have, of course, one more race to come, and that is the men's 4x200 metres freestyle relay. They are about to go. Dundee City Aquatic in lane 0. City of Glasgow in 1. City of Glasgow B team. South Lanarkshire Junior team in 2. City of Glasgow A team in 3. Warrender Baths A team in lane 4. Aberdeen Performance A in 5. Royal Wolverhampton in 6. West Lothian in 7. Aberdeen Performance B in 8. And Dumfries in lane number 9. So who's your favourites for this one, Ali? Could be quite tight. Warren Bass, a good team. Aberdeen Performance won the women's race. Can they double up with the men?
I think it will actually be quite close, but if you can get close in the 4x2. But I think Glasgow, Warrender, Aberdeen, I think they'll all be in the hunt for the victory. And of course the 4x2 is one of those races where things can change quite dramatically across the period of the race, depending on how you've lined up your swimmers. If each swimmer's taking between 1:55 and 2 minutes for each 200, then there's a lot of sway around how the race can develop. And then even within each 200 as well, you've got to be careful how you pace it. Do you go out too quick and then have your opposition who are actually quite a distance behind? You see them coming back on the last 50 and gradually see the leads unravelling from there. So one of the great races of swimming, I think.
Yeah, as you said earlier, the GB team, the men's been very, very successful. The Scottish team as well has been very successful. Big representation in the Olympic Games for GB, the Scots.
Indeed, my colleague Alan Lynn always tells the story of the men's 4x2 at the Olympics, where all 4 Scots were in the team for the heats, qualifying the British team for the final. Ranked number 1 in the world at that point in time, and of course there were one switch for the final, bringing Jimmy Guy in at that point in time, and that team going on to take a fantastic silver medal in Rio.
Well, City of Glasgow started well there. Howdy Hasuna has handed over to Fraser Allison. In fact, that's Warrender Bass. My apologies, we were in second place. Martin McInnes it was for City of Glasgow, handed over to Jack McComish. And Warrender are trying to chase them down. In second position, it is University of Aberdeen Performance. John Wright now handed over to Joseph Miley. And, well, Jack McComish trying to hold on to this lead for City of Glasgow. In lane number 3, Jack McComish, we mentioned him earlier, on his way to the Deaf Olympics just in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, and on speaking to him earlier in the week, I know he's extremely excited about the prospect. Absolutely loves his swimming, does Jack. and he's been out with City of Glasgow out in Killia on the training camp there as well, so he's been preparing excellently and diligently as he leads into the Deaf Olympics.
Yeah, Jack McComish and Daniel Joyce on their way to those Deaf Olympics in July, and he is holding on this lead. Hasn't really changed too much in this leg. Aberdeen performance, Joseph Miley is just about in second position there. Fraser Allison for Warrender trying to come back. Warrender in third place here, and it is RWS Royal Wolverhampton in fourth position. But Jack McComish has swum a good leg here, and he is holding on to that lead. The margin not really changed too much as they come up to the halfway point. Jack McComish will hand over to Joe Watt on the third leg. And the advantage for City of Glasgow is something like almost 3 seconds, 2.7 seconds for City of Glasgow ahead of University of Aberdeen and Warrender Baths in third position. Now they're all kind of closing up for second, third, fourth, and maybe even fifth, with lane number 7 Swim West Lothian coming back into it, but it's still a handy lead here for Joe Watt for City of Glasgow.
Absolutely. I would expect Jack Watson just to start bringing the gap down at some point as well. George Clough, another one of the young up-and-coming swimmers, going off to the World Junior Championships in Indianapolis, but more renowned for being a breaststroker and a medley swimmer rather than a freestyler. But he's doing his bit for the team. But you can see the Warrender Bass team just starting to catch up on Joe Watt, closely followed by Jack Watson as well, and that gap's coming down pretty quickly now.
Oh, it certainly is. Joe Watt holding on here, but is he going to be in the lead when they come into this final leg here? This is the third leg swimmer. He has around about 65 metres to go, and George Clough closing the gap. Jack Watson also coming back in lane number 5. Ben Cope as well. Look, as they go up the pool there, they're almost in a diagonal line. The 5 swimmers here all trying to make their move. They have closed up on the leader here, and it looks like George Clough is just going to be able to take lead for Warrender Bass. A very exciting finishing prospect.
And indeed, just as we were talking earlier in the race, there was a big gap that opened up right at the start with Glasgow taking the lead, and George Clough now coming through to wrestle that away from Glasgow. But then Joe Watt responding, and it looks like a great last 200 now.
Oh, Joe Watt responded, absolutely, and he still had the lead for City of Glasgow there. As George Clough started to come back, Joe Watt just fought back, and City of Glasgow still lead. On the last leg for City of Glasgow, it is Cameron Park. On the last leg for Warrender, it's Archie Goodburn. These two are side by side at the moment as they go into the first turn. Still 150 to go. The lead is now with Archie Goodburn only by 6/100ths of a second. It's not over by a long chalk. Archie Goodburn keeping an eye on Cameron Park. Cameron Park breathing to both sides, keeping an eye on Archie Goodburn. There's nothing in it at all as they come up to the 100 mark on this leg.
Absolutely. I think Cameron really working hard over this first 100. Archie just maybe looking a little bit more controlled, and I think on this event, but Cameron really just a little bit better off the wall in terms of getting the distance. But here comes Archie as he starts to press for the lead.
Well, Archie Goodburn, is he going to break Cameron Park here? It's Archie Goodburn and Cameron Park. They come up to that final turn now. It has been an excellent contest here in the 4x200 freestyle relay. Cameron Park is really holding on here. Archie Goodburn looks smooth though, and it is Cameron Park just with that slender lead there by 0.1 of a second. It's going to be a grandstand finish here, Ollie.
It is 800 metres of racing, and it coming down to the last 50 now.
Well, Cameron Park in the blue cap. It's Archie Goodburn in the red cap. It's City of Glasgow versus Warrender Bass. They're absolutely together here. This is the final stages of the 800 metres freestyle relay. It looks maybe like Archie Goodburn, or is it Cameron Park? And it is Archie Goodburn will take it by 0.1 of a second. It's gold to Warrender, it's silver to City of Glasgow, and it's bronze to University of Aberdeen Performance. But after 800 metres, they were only separated by 0.1 of a second.
Fantastic racing there. What a swim by those two. Those two on the last leg. They are really close finish. And Archie just looked as though he was hanging in on that last 50. Got his head down on the last 5 and managed to get the touch at the end. But a great swim from Cameron Park as well, wasn't it? I think in normal circumstances you would have expected maybe Archie just to pull away, but no, he wouldn't let him go, and Cameron just about got him at the end there. Top racing.
Well, Archie Goodburn, he did enough, but only just. A smile on the face there. What a great effort from Cameron Park. There is the result, 7:47.43 and 7:47.53. Warrender take the title from City of Glasgow. And there it is, the finish there, Ali. Look at that.
Both heads down, just on the edge.
Cameron Park gave absolutely everything there. Just came up a 1/10 of a second short.
Well, it just shows you the value of team competition as well, and the relays. A lot of the time you don't see that kind of level of commitment in an individual swim, but you'll see it in a relay swim. Why? Because they don't want to let their teammates down. They're representing their club, and they want to try and do their very best for their teammates and their club. So that's what it delivers.
Well, we all love the relay, and we all love a relay like that. A really close finish to end this evening's session with the men's 4x200 freestyle. That is the last swimming action from us tonight. We have medal presentations, of course, for us to enjoy here as the teams get themselves organised. Also got the 800 freestyle, of course, for women. The presentation for that dominant swim by Camilla Hattersley, and you enjoyed that one as well, Ali. She really did well, didn't she?
I did. I thought it's extremely tough to get yourself out there. I thought she really committed herself, and it's not easy to do that. You were talking about that earlier in some of the para events. It's not easy to commit yourself out like that in an 800 metre event. You know, it's pretty tough, and I think in doing that, she'll take a lot of positives from the fact that she's put herself in that position, and then the actual outcome from it, an 8:35, season's best, striking range of that Commonwealth Games time. I think they'll continue to work on it over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and I think she'll be in great shape come British Summer Nationals and then World Junior Games.
Well, I hope so. Nikki Miller and Meg Finnan, the bronze and silver medalists. Camilla Hattersley has obviously gone straight to swim down after those exertions, and her teammate picking up the gold medal for her.
Yeah, remember, she'll also have the 400 free, possibly the 100 free as well, coming up the rest of the meet, and after the 800 she'll be wanting to get herself straight into that recovery pool.
Iona McLeod wins a very tight contest for the junior title. Sophie Smith was almost adding another medal to her tally there, another junior medal, but not quite, just pipped by Iona McLeod. She'll be pleased to be the junior champion. The Tayside battle there for the junior title.
Royal battle, that's it.
So there are the medalists for the women's 800 metres freestyle. Again, another excellent performance there from Camilla Hattersley. Dominated that one and won by quite a margin. Wasn't quite as big a winning margin in this one though.
No, no. But it was a fantastic race, wasn't it? Even the battle for third and fourth, it was pretty tight at the end as well, and that was right on the finish. And that's exactly what relays should be about. We're after team points as well. Relays count double, so you can pick up quite a lot of points in the relays if you're wanting to add to your team's tally for the meet.
Team trophies will be presented on Sunday, so make sure you tune in for the presentations of those team trophies. Bronze medalist was University of Aberdeen Performance team. A time of 7:50.80. City of Glasgow 7:47.53. Well, great swim from the City of Glasgow team. Martin McInnes, Jack McComish, Joe Watt and Cameron Park. Great last leg by Cameron Park there. Almost getting in ahead of this team. Adai Hasuna, Fraser Allison, George Clough and Archie Goodburn there on the right. They are the Scottish champions. They are the team from Warrender Baths. Scottish junior champions are the team from South Lanarkshire. They were the only junior team in that final. Team of Keir Buchanan, Jonathan Christie, Dylan Somerville and Andrew McIntosh just about squeezing onto that podium.
Yes, indeed. Andy Figgins will be pleased about that junior result.
So another junior title there for South Lanarkshire. Already saw Dylan Somerville earlier on as well, just a short time ago, take that junior title in the 50 metres butterfly. And a bit of to and fro in here. On the podium, off the podium? Well, they're not too sure, are they?
All about the photographs, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that
Gotta
junior
look your
team might have to get used to this being on the podiums there. You never know how far these guys might go.
Indeed.
That's true, isn't it?
That is true.
A number of the top guys, you know, you see the likes of Duncan Scott, Stephen Milne, all coming through the ranks. Robbie Rennick, the great 200 freestyle and 400 freestyle swimmer, all started at these local galas and made their way through the ranks, so you just never know. Anyway, that's the final action for tonight. And thanks very much, Ali, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
It's been a good night, some great action, some brilliant racing for us to get our teeth into. And that's only the halfway point. We still have day 3 tomorrow, and there is the lineup for day 3. A range of events there. We have some 200 metre events, 400 metres going down to the 50s as well. And we finish with the men's 800 and the 4x100 freestyle relay, so that'll be fast.
It will be. It'll be close as well, and I think thought it was close on that 4x2. It'll be exactly the same on the 100.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us tonight on the live stream wherever you are watching it from. We're very pleased that we were being broadcast on the BBC Online as well, so thanks to those viewers for joining us tonight. And we look forward to day number 3. That is the close of day 2. So we hope to see you back tomorrow. Good night for now.